When you're back in it, you do indeed go balls deep, and right now I am much more into wrestling than I was a year ago, 2 years ago. I feel like there may be a bit of a renaissance going on with WWE. The storyline writing is generally better than it was 4 or 5 years ago. I feel like Roman Reigns has finally come into his own. He's found a character, a persona that fits him, and he's able to really execute on really well with the people around him. And there are other people going on doing things in WWE who I believe will be big stars within the next 2 or 3 years, and they just kind of came onto the scene in a second while I've been watching for the last 6 months or so, and I'm really glad I tuned back in, because while I don't watch every single week, I keep up to date much more than I used to, and SummerSlam this year was a bit of a ride. I do think Money in the Bank was a better pay-per-view. WrestleMania overall was good, but the whole 2-day thing does make it a bit too long and a bit too arduous. But SummerSlam this year, pretty solid. I would say it's about 50-50 hit ratio. Half the matches were really good and half the matches were really bad. And then there are a couple in the middle which are like, okay. But I will start off with the bad ones, alright? Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey. Absolutely atrocious. I will not go into it. All I'm going to say is Ronda Rousey needs to be a heel. She is not good as a face, and this match just completely delegitimized Liv Morgan being champion. Ronda Rousey's going to go off now. She assaulted a ref. That's in the storyline. She's going to get suspended. She might get fired. I don't know. But what I do know is it was an absolutely awful decision to have these guys face each other and for the outcome to be so one-sided with Ronda absolutely destroying Liv. To be realistic, there's no other way this happens. Ronda decimates Liv 99 out of 99 times. It's just how it goes. But that match was an absolute dumpster fire. Another one that was not particularly good, I'd give it a low tier just above that, was the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day. Now, I don't know why this storyline is still going on. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why it exists in the first place. I don't know who came up with it in creative, alright? But it's very, very stupid. The best thing about the match was the Edge came out at the end and did some spearing. Other than that, the only other thing that comes to mind when thinking of that match is the fact that men in the WWE can apparently just be attacked and assaulted by women whenever, wherever. Now, I understand it's a physical thing. Men are attacking men, women are attacking women. But at the same time, alright? Imagine if for a second Rey Mysterio did a 619 on Liv Morgan. What the hell would happen? Like, maybe if it was Ronda Rousey, you could sell it. But in any other circumstance, that would not happen, because the heat WWE would get from, I don't know, assault lines and helplines would be absolutely insane. But apparently, when a woman does it to a man, it's all good. I find it a bit weird. I don't like it. Let's not be mixing these things together. Once in a while, you can throw a slap. Once in a while, you can make the woman do something to a guy if that's something they want to do. But I don't like how for the last couple of months since I've been watching, they've basically been jobbing a lot of the guys for the benefit of the women. And I just am not feeling that. It just seems a bit too on the nose. And let's be fair, you already have to suspend your disbelief. Now it's like, oh, we're in Fantasyland 2.0. You know, when Rey Mysterio can beat someone like Mark Henry, it's okay, I'm not believing this, but if you sell it good enough, I might. But then, whatever. It is what it is. There were other things that were worse than that, though, because the Pat McAfee match versus Happy Corbin was a disaster. I don't know why the ropes were so floppy, but it didn't help the match at all. And I think Pat McAfee had a better showing in WrestleMania than he did here. I think he just looked very clunky. The match wasn't put together particularly well. But we'll get on to other stuff now. Positive things. Bobby Lashley Theory. Decent. Good. Not great. Good. I'm glad Theory ended up losing. Bobby can continue with the United States Championship. Theory can eventually go and challenge for the Universal title. All good there. Bianca Bellaire versus The Boss. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Bianca Bellaire. I think she's a great athlete. I think she has a lot of charisma. But she can come off a bit whiny. She can come off a bit annoying a lot of the time. I can say the same thing about Becky Lynch, because oftentimes it's a bit too far. They kind of take the character work, that extra centimeter, and it just makes it unbearable. They're great in the ring, though. I think that's what saved the match. It wasn't the story. It was more so the in-ring work. And they're both great workers, and that's why they created a good match at SummerSlam. But we'll get to the good stuff, okay? We'll get to the good stuff now. Logan Paul. I was someone who said this guy is an athlete regardless. He can do it on the biggest stage of them all. He did it at WrestleMania. But I think him and The Miz actually upped what they did at WrestleMania at SummerSlam. The stuff Logan Paul was doing here was absolutely nuts. You have to kind of think to yourself, whoa, how long has this guy been training for? Because he looks like he's been at this for a couple of years. But really, it's been like 6 months. It is insane how good he looked in the ring. Now, he is with a great worker in The Miz. He always gives himself to the other person and he makes sure that they look good. People will say he's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but he's always a good partner for basically anyone in wrestling. And I think he made Logan Paul look great while Logan Paul still was good himself. So, a lot of bombastic shit going on. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't watched it, but what I will say is, Frog Splash, my guy, I was jaw-dropped. What the hell are you doing? Even like when he was doing a standing neck breaker, I don't know what he did. It is absolutely phenomenal stuff. Oh, phenomenal forearm. Just the fact that someone like AJ Styles is willing to be a footnote on a Logan Paul versus Miz match is beyond me, because AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers of the last 20 years. But hey, you need to check. After that, we have something which I wasn't sure about. I wasn't sure it was going to work. I wasn't sure how they were going to do it. But they pulled it off and then some, and that was the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and Paul Heyman and Austin Theory. Because really, it was Brock Lesnar versus the world. That's what this match was, and I'm glad they did that, because even though I wanted Brock to win, I didn't want it to be Roman winning fair. And the fact they didn't do that leaves it open maybe for 6 months' time, a year's time, Brock to come back again. Maybe not against Roman, maybe against Drew McIntyre, because he is indeed fighting for the Universal Championship at Clash at the Castle, I believe it is. They gave absolutely everything to each other. I do think the finish was a bit manufactured. It felt like, oh, this is what they're doing. But in the end, the amount of crazy shit they did in that match was unbelievable. Brock Lesnar bringing out a tractor, throwing Roman Reigns out of a tractor, jumping on the tractor. I swear, I love tractors, man. I never thought I was that person, but oh, I want to be driving a tractor one day. Maybe I need to get a farm and become a hick. I don't know. But it seems like I'm a tractor boy now. After that, we have what was my favorite match of the night, and that was the Street Profits versus the Usos for the tag team titles. And while the match wasn't as good as the one at Money in the Bank, I just think the charisma that these guys all bring, the effort they all put into it, and the chemistry they have together is so amazing that it just creates good product whenever they're in the ring together. And I believe Montez Ford is a future WWE champion. I said it the first time I saw him. I only started watching wrestling when Cody came back at WrestleMania. And then I started watching Raw and SmackDown on a regular basis. But Montez has put on some muscle. He's looking quick. He's looking agile. But he's looking big. And as soon as he put on the muscle, I said, what is going on here? This guy's a tank. He's got an engine. He's got everything. He's good on the mic. He's got the charisma. He's got the charm. He's almost like, with Andrew Dawkins as well, the two of them, it's almost as if they've been picked out of the Attitude Era, polished up a bit, and said, you can't say certain words, and they've just run with it. And these guys are the most eye-catching thing on WWE right now. Other than the Roman Reigns, head of the table, bloodline shenanigans, this is the best thing on wrestling right now in the WWE. Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits, I wanted them to get the W. They didn't get it. And I don't know now if they're going to get another shot. But my God, these guys are just money. Anytime they're on screen, flames, electricity, sparks flying all over the place, and I love it. I want more of it. Please, WWE, do not mess up the Street Profits. They're your big money maker, I'm telling you. They bring the smoke.